did articulate well.
No, he's not.
And then,
Well, I mean.
you know, it seemed very unprofessional, and I was thinking, how can a 32-year-old be in charge of commercial sales? He's probably not a broker, he's probably in sales. Right. So, you know, so he's the lowest level of the firm.
That's true.
So because of those two things, one that I thought, you know, he sort of was holding to you, to when I looked him up, you know, that was two strikes. So now I'm, you know, not a good friend of mine to be. I don't know how else to say it, you know?
Well,
you know,
let's.
you know, so we'll get in detail later. Yeah. Right. And now I want to go down that route just because he pissed me off. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you have to make an awful amount of
But I read a big outline on that law. Holy smoke, that is a powerful. Oh, it's a powerful law for me.
I use it. I work with property community.
I was thinking it, of course, this is how I did it. As soon as I would get first communication with him, I would have gone and looked up the regulations. But I was too much work for him. Well, you know, because of his comments, I think it would be different. And then when you read your communication, you lead out a very transparent, methodical reason on where this number came from.
Right.
As compared to their pie in the sky.
Well, I had two sources for that, because I had first of all, you worked in the analysis company, but John Muir and all of them says you need to done an analysis of the properties in the area.
And then for him to say, well, nobody uses those numbers unless you want to increase the assessment value of the property. Well, he just burned his own client.
Sorry, that was very
You know, it was just like, whoa, that's what we just say.
I know it was. You're right. I send
It was very methodical.
but he
Yeah.
what he did was, and everything. Nobody emailed.
What was he angry about? Did you direct him to at least get this proposal to the offer to the client?
Yeah.
Like you were schooling him? You know.
I just say there's a tension.
I thought it was only lawyers and engineers that like this.
Yeah, I was like, bring it. Engineers. No, I guess.
I don't know. You know, so I was trying to be, you know, objective. Now inquiring my point of view. That's how I look at it. Get somewhere. So you're all familiar with this, right? Okay, good. It's a sham. It's one of those paper, you know, corporations that will tie back to each other.
You know, Tom Hewitt,
Was a firefighter for
no more because I don't make a single one.
no, more
I didn't know you were making
Back in my highlight of my hip problems, I was taking like 17 Advil and my thought 3 minutes. And I just say, I don't drink, I never did drugs, so if I never if an extra take 5 years, but afterwards.
It's like that.
To put the ice balls in that way, the ice water melts, you know, it's not like a mess. And then the water, and then you just swap out the ice balls. So, yeah, it's figured that way. Yeah, the cold water was continually circulating. Oh, yeah. I'll see if I can find it up in the attic. Just remember, if you do go, these are the type of surgeries that you get with clearance from the dentist saying you don't make my house. Because that's what happened to me. I was all ready to go, and I had to go get the clearance from the dentist on a Tuesday, and I got on a Friday, and they go, he goes, oh, I should have paid more attention to that early on. They think you can get some sort of bacteria infection in the tooth can go down into the bone, and that's the bone that gets all So he goes, oh, I can't sign off for it. I go, you got to. I said, they're also going to cost me like $2,000 more on my stuff. And he goes, I got you an appointment over at Dr. Lee. So the next day I'm over there. He goes, well, here's 5 tests to see what you're doing. Because you need it. I said, I need to get this done. You know, because otherwise I can't get the therapy done. So anyway, it's not going to happen like within 6 months. Yeah, think on, this is where they're taking, you know, the saw and the
Somebody gave me the junior league chair.
I usually end up with it.
Marine called me once, he goes, you only get good, fight.
And nobody thought it
That's only what you get. Yeah, practice, he says, you don't even want to know. So sometimes have a natural ability for it, but he says most people, it's the time.
I didn't, she wrote it about me, what about the paper, and I'll put her like it, and I just think.
I had that discussion with someone yesterday. We had a guy come in from our house.
I did it already, I'm not gonna do that. And here's your nice countdown.
Well, it doesn't bother me.
Justin,
I have to sit right there.
If
If I was gonna get away with it, it'd probably be a tactical
Want a
shotgun, but I'm so
submarine
good,
and
I'll spend the time on the range.
scat?
So I said, it would have to be a shotgun.
That's his job,
Wait a minute.
he is a
Right.
mechanical engineer with Leopard. And he's with a.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, it says no.
No, that's what I see.
They go in retro.
All right. We're gonna put up our meeting, St. Lawrence Borough, we pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But we're going to technical difficulty. Robert May is here, Michael Fritz is here, Greg Zawala is not here, Allison Linebaugh is present, Dave Eggert present, Steve Idle present, Mayor Barry is here, Reverend Michael is here, Warren is here, Jones here, Derek is somewhere in the building, and of course Ty, our borough engineer, is here.
And Susan.
And Susan's here. Yeah. So is there a motion to approve the February 10th, 2022 Borough Council meetings, or is there any corrections, clarifications, modifications, or can the minutes be accepted as presented?
I'll move we accept them as presented.
Second. Motion's been moved and seconded by whomever. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Point of order, I don't recall you indicating whomever was here.
Yeah. Whoever I heard in the restaurant. So all those in favor, signify by saying aye. And all those opposed, motion passes. Approval of payment of bills. So before you see payment of bills for out of the general fund totaling $75,923.39. Out of the sewer fund, $80,767.73. Out of liquid fuels, $8,027.62. Any questions concerning the bills and whom we're paying or the amounts, or can the bills be paid as presented?
Motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded to pay the bills as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of treasurer's report. The treasurer's report you see before us, our total cash available in general funds is $306,508.20. Total cash available in reserve account, $82,221.87. Total cash available in the fire tax fund, $2,156.84. Total cash available in the sewer fund account, $334,122.92. And total cash available in liquid fuel account, $243,899.67. There's also an Ole Turnpike Road escrow account showing for 3209 Ole Turnpike Road holding $15,172.50.
Motion to accept treasury report as presented.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded to accept the treasurer's report as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Now here for public comment. Apparently we haven't had any come in via electronic messaging, so we'll move forward. If something else comes up, we can circle back to that. We'll go to consultants report, borough engineer.
The first item on my list is under zoning ordinance issues. Just wanted to let you know that I'm working with Allison on the small wireless communication ordinance. I provided her some information.
I have some to send you.
I don't think she had opportunity to take a look at it, but
Yeah, there were some issues when the planning commission went through it, in that you saw places where a micro antenna, where it's like defined as like an 11-inch antenna, yet a couple paragraphs down said an antenna could be as much as 3 cubic feet. And
Well, like a dish or something.
well, you probably, if you.
Or an array, a triangle array.
It could be more like that. So, what is it? What's the rate? I can't believe we're gonna put 3 telephone poles, 3 square foot ones. And there were also things like,
Oh, you're saying that the poles themselves were gonna be a certain size.
there was also a question about
Oh.
poles being a certain size.
Okay.
It said it was about 50 feet. We thought we had perhaps in our ordinances a lower height than that, making sure our ordinances and that ordinance agree. That's all. We weren't sure what it was, but we were.
Mike, is there any physical difference between a 30-foot pole and a 50-foot pole, put it in the ground, it still only goes down like 5 feet, right?
I think it's 7.
Really, for a bigger pole?
I think it's 7.
usually it's a third of the pole.
Third of the pole, as a rule of thumb?
Does that change in a municipality?
No, it's a rule of thumb each year is used for
I
stability.
didn't know if that was something that.
Length of the pole has to be
I've
buried
never
third of its length.
Right. That's like 30 foot.
That may be
Walk it
more.
off.
Yeah, I don't tell, what are telephone poles, 20 something? I don't think they even go down below 5.
Well, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Well, and that question was, along St. Lawrence Avenue, is a 50-foot pole
Appropriate.
appropriate?
Yeah, and they also had in there that the electronics could be 28 cubic feet, which is like a little bit larger than a 3 cubic foot. 3 by 3 by 3, it's a pretty big box.
Could we put those in subsurface box if we wanted to,
Well, the ordinance says at ground level or on the pole.
Oh,
I remember
Some of
that.
the stuff I sent over to Allison had poles and what it looks like, and some of them look pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think our concern is in the right-of-way area with the limited size and having only smaller sidewalks that were present, is that you start causing constraint of.
was there a minimum height
Walking.
for
area.
mounting your
And
equipment?
especially if you have
That's
too
another thing I
many
agree.
poles
I saw some.
together, you're really
Last summer,
like out
and some of the.
on the other side where you have the walls.
Yeah, but I would have a concern if it was mounted, 8 foot or 9 foot high, yeah, I know. On the ground.
So anyway, that type of discussion went on at the planning commission, and that's why I'll give you the planning commission's report early.
Good.
All right.
yeah, I forwarded a draft ordinance that's been adopted in Dolphin County, I believe it is. And they do restrict the poles at the intersection.
Anything else of highlights?
Yeah, the next item that I have has to do with municipal land survey. I don't know if you want to go through that now or not.
Let's wait till,
We do the easement stuff.
yeah. We'll pull that in when we talk about the easement issue, all right? Okay. Solicitor,
Yes, we have ordinance that was advertised tonight, the open burning ordinance, which I believe is under old business, but I'd like to take that now, if we can.
We didn't give everybody a copy, so everybody had a copy of the
last time.
That's right. And I emailed it to everybody to look at in case anybody had any issues.
Does anybody have any issues as they reviewed it? Offsite. So, what will we need a ordinance number 450?
Ordinance number 450, and it was advertised in the Ready Eagle on March 2nd. Standalone ordinance, so it only has to be advertised once. And need a motion to adopt ordinance 450.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 450-2022, the open burning ordinance.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 450, our open burning ordinance. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, everything else is elsewhere on the agenda or in executive session.
Got it. Mayor, got a report for us?
Not a formal report, but I just wanted to note that in the past year, this is the first time that we have had more than 50 incidents registered by the Central Berks Police.
I didn't get a look to see what are our numbers in the vehicle citations.
And citation
14.
warnings.
So it's.
Is that a little bit more,
That,
That and the criminal offenses. So.
yeah, we can't really control that.
We usually hang between 14 and 17. We usually hang between 14 and 17%.
yeah,
Yeah.
So otherwise, as far as comparing the incidents recorded for St. Lawrence versus the other 4 municipalities, instead of running at 15%, we're up to 17%, which is really not in any kind of danger.
All right. So declared.
Hearings, my informal report.
Thanks, Mayor. Anything from Borough Zoning Code Enforcement Officer?
yeah, there's something if I can remember.
We do want to talk about the
Tracer program.
tracer. So if you open your book down to the back, there's a tracer. This is essentially a type of program that sort of tries to tie all your records together in one place, but in particular zoning and building permits.
Code enforcement.
Right.
Assets, sanitary sewer, signs, streets, stormwater. You can use it to do your stormwater inspections. It does asset management in that respect, and it'll print reports that you can use for DEP reporting. If we go back into not being granted a waiver and have to go back into doing that reporting, it's something we're looking at. We can do the implementation with ARPA funds, because part of it is creating a citizen portal. Now, the snow tracker, they make that a big deal. We don't really, because why do we really want to track 2 vehicles?
If you had a lot more miles, it might make sense.
Yeah, that's not something we would put our effort into, but what you can do with this program is also bill through it, so you can take permit payments online by credit card. And they feel that if enough of their municipalities ask, that they may go into a utility billing function. They said they have all the components to do it, they just haven't put it together. So
Right.
it is something we've been looking for. We still have questions to ask them. We're looking at somewhere around 18,000 to get it set up and to get it implemented. Then the annual expense is, for the first year, is like $450 a month. Then it goes up to $500 a month for 2 years. After 1 year, if you don't like it,
You bail.
You bail. It's all based on ArcGIS, so it's using information we already have, plus the county parcel data. We own all our information. They don't hold any information hostage, so it's a database that
But
we would keep.
yeah, my understanding is you essentially open up like it's a big file cabinet, but then all the drawers is per parcel in the borough. So that way, if anything comes up, it affects that parcel, you put it in the parcel, that's how you track everything. So at any point, something comes up, you can always go back to the parcel to see where it's at. You're not chasing resolutions and everything else, trying to say, what does that affect, or what happened on that zoning thing, and things like that. It's probably an interesting way to track all your information back to the parcel.
It does document management as well, which we've been looking into doing it
online as a service, and there's nothing that's easy or cheap about any of them. Unfortunately, this seems to be the most interactive in a fashion that we would want to use. And it's scaled for smaller municipalities, and they're based in Pennsylvania, and they have sold this to a large number of Pennsylvania municipalities from western part of the state all the way through the eastern part of the state. They just did 10 government units in Center County to their COG, Council of Governments.
Is this going to create a job for an additional person?
Probably not. We have some part-time people that sort of scan stuff now, but that's part of the problem. We probably have 20 boxes of those size banker boxes downstairs. And we would like to digitize it so we don't have the paper anymore. But now you gotta figure out who stores it. I don't know if you're like me, but I like to file a certain way. I'm sure my wife files completely different that I can never, ever understand. So this is why if you have a common way that it goes into parcels, and the same document could go into multiple parcels if need be. So this was just a part of the continuing process of trying to get everything off of paper where we could find it again. Because right now you gotta send someone to look through boxes.
And who holds this database? Who holds the database?
We
Is
do.
this a- I think it's
The database sits on their servers, but
On their
it's
server.
all information that we own. Yeah, it's the only way
It's cloud-based.
to have access for multiple parties and not have a network here, which would cost us probably more than what we would be paying to go with an online service.
I would bet you their servers is Amazon. You know, or
Microsoft.
Microsoft's server system where they buy X amount of space and then it gets automatically backed up. So for instance,
Yeah,
if you're on the East
my
Coast,
question.
yeah, if you're on the East Coast, almost everything's backed up in Nevada or some other place on the West Coast. So the idea is if a big weather event or some other event hits one side of the country, your stuff's still, you know.
And you're saving that, this stuff is being saved as PDF files and all that kind of stuff. It's just the organization in which it's being saved.
So-
And
So do you need any action tonight from us?
we're not ready to pull the trigger yet. Derek has come up with a few questions. He did contact somebody else. A lot of people are new in implementing some of the parts of this. I'd like to get my hands on it to see how you can try it for a year and both parties can walk away with no harm, no foul, no commitment. You paid for 1 year, you've paid your upfront costs to put everything into their system, but you don't have any ongoing expense with them. And then after 5 years,
You wouldn't lose the effort of digitizing a paper file because you would still be able to get that if you didn't
Yeah.
use their service.
and
So
all
after
your
a year,
updated.
you could download everything you put into it and
That's what,
Yep.
use it. So
right, that was one of the
Yes.
questions,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
And there is actually, I can send you a link. They have a YouTube webinar if anybody wanted to look at it. And they have a website where you can go in and kind of look at more examples of what they do. But it's very, if you look at the parcel viewer at the county, which is a GIS based online, it looks very similar to that, but the layers that we would add to it, we can get all of our traffic signs up with inspection dates, when they were last looked at, when they were last replaced. Every single storm drain on that map, every single sanitary sewer bit, and it's private. That is not all in the public domain because you don't want some of your stuff out. in the
And
public
technically, internal
domain.
documents like that are not subject to Freedom of Information Act, if I'm correct,
What
correct.
documents exactly?
Well, if you have an internal inspection report or something like that,
Yeah, well, inspection reports can be,
If it's tied to a permit or something, public permit.
Right, routine inspections, routine fire inspection, the plant safety inspection, something like that. But if it's investigative, it is considered criminal or non-criminal investigative. That is one of the exceptions under right now.
So for instance, if we're investigating a possible I&I in the sewer because we know we're gonna pay more to PA American, that typically is not a Freedom of Information Act.
That would be
Report.
that'd be an investigation most likely,
Right.
particularly if it's related to the investigation. But if it's just a routine inspection, your lines, you're televising.
Yeah, I fully understand what you're saying. If it was tied to a permit or something
Mhm.
by another agency, that all becomes, you know. As soon as you send it into that permit agency, you know, technically becomes public, so.
If you use this for a year and walk away, you have the ability to still add to it and adjust things, or that's it forever?
Well, we would still have all the documentation
But
that
you wouldn't be able to add to it.
you wouldn't, this is not, you
Well, it
wouldn't
comes
access.
from all else.
You don't have access to it, and basically. If it works the way that we expect it to work, it will be around for a while because it's one of the most economical ways that we found that has the broadest uses. That's been the problem. We don't want to spend 50,000 on a program that you can't justify spending that kind of money on an ongoing basis.
Can the maintenance costs be shared between the general fund, liquid fuels, sewer?
Well, liquid fuels is a little too difficult to share with.
What if you use?
That's the one you go to jail for.
The sewer fund,
Don't mind you.
sewer fund, yes.
But if you're using this as a tool to track, log,
There's certain, yes, and parts of it could be, but it's very specific parts of it that you could do. Sign inspections, we use all of our liquid fuels money anyway, so I'm not too excited about.
Extracting anything else from.
Yeah, because we'll leave it not just enough probably to do our next major project. We're using it in a more cost-effective way with stuff we do and then gathering enough to go out to do a big project without having to add our money back into it.
Is anybody interested? You know, I'm sure we could go back and ask them for another municipality in Pennsylvania that's using it. If they would, you know, have a Zoom meeting and we could set something up. If anybody wanted to dial in, you know, you could ask questions to them or something like that. Anybody interested in something like that?
Or do you want to take a look at their website and decide next month if you want to go any further?
You can go into their website and go look at it.
Look at it,
Or
YouTube,
like
they
I did that
have,
with
they have a
somebody.
presentation that they have. And then Derek's gonna fish around to a couple of different municipalities. A lot of people have started to use this, but I don't think a lot of people have fully implemented it after dealing with COVID and whatever issues some of the larger municipalities had. They've picked particular things that they did a lot of and not so much of the other sections. We have pretty much like all of our sewers already mapped, so it's gonna be easy to transfer it in there. All of our storm drains are already mapped.
But I'll tell you,
Put it in.
even on what the state has certain things, it's sort of neat. If you go to a node where it's a manhole and you can see a 6-inch line's coming in here, 8-inch line's coming in here. I mean, it's a lot different than seeing it on a drawing, you know, so. There's some, you leverage some of the data management, you know, to be more effective or efficient, I guess.
so what are our costs in the first year?
18K
I
plus,
thought you said they covered the. No?
the 18 plus 400 a month, 450 a month.
Yeah,
But you said you could use ARP.
we could
Right.
use the ARPA funds to cover the
Startup cost
yes,
or setup, let's call it a setup cost.
yeah.
There's a setup cost and a monthly.
Because we would be making it a more user function for residents to, part of it is a report a concern, so that if somebody has a backup storm drain, or they have a code issue, because this would do code enforcement.
Can you issue permits through it too?
You can issue
So-
building permits.
So like a
zoning
contractor, a
permits,
plumbing contractor could email and say, I need a permit for this
Yeah.
hot water heating tank. And you
Contract,
could email, he pays you through this, and then we email him back the permit with the information to the plumbing inspector. and the insurance inspector.
contractor
So it's more of
registration,
electronic way of doing business as compared to walking.
with
in.
credit card.
Yeah.
So the citizen reporter is an online access for the public taxpayer to, with obviously limited access to.
Not everything's available in
Right,
that.
sure.
And this with code enforcement, they can use, the cell phones can be used. If you get to where you need better management, you can use a tablet, and you can go out and do an inspection on your tablet. That goes right into your system and logs that you've done that inspection. You can take a picture of a storm drain, that its condition, and it's right there. Print a report out, and now you have your log of all the work that you've done on your system.
So to plant the seed tonight, we may want to put it on the agenda next month for action. And if you want any more details, just email Allison, we'll try to get.
And the ongoing management and monthly fees and stuff would be.
450, 400, 450?
It was 400 for the
First
first
year.
year, 450 a month for year 2 and year 3.
And we don't have that budgeted, right?
And 500.
No.
At this point, we do not, but having said that, we are gonna have to do something along the lines of the management of paper electronically, and everything that I've looked at, like e-file, where it's like filing cabinets and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I
You're
tried.
looking at $100 a user.
Yeah, I was trying to at least get us to scan it and put it in some sort of drawer, but I didn't have a hierarchy of how other people would find what you scan.
We were looking at
Yeah.
trying to do AWS, Amazon Web Services, and how to use their portals to create storage of information. And
So you're not limited on the number of users, you're paying for the service per se, which includes their software. So you're not ever paying for software that continually has to be upgraded or anything
that's
like
your
that.
monthly fee.
Yeah, it's on your monthly.
So
And we would probably split
30.
that out of the general and sewer anyway, and at some point, probably out of the permit, if we got into the permit stuff, money from permits would pay part of this too, because whoever uses it would be getting charged some sort of allocation.
Looking forward, if we start our own sewer billing,
They don't have anything in particular right now that is.
It's not off the shelf ready, is what they're saying. You're right.
yeah, but
But
you see here, integration with our partner is a pay, or your preferred online payment. process.
But we sort of conjured that you could make a sewer bill a permit, and you could actually, you could work it through there, but that's not how it was set up.
Let's say that when we were talking to the tech guy and not the general manager when we had a Zoom meeting that went a little long. And just because something's called a permit, he goes, you're right. He goes, we usually have to dumb these things down for people. It's just like the software we used for the hardware store, where you're working with all different levels between point of sale and inventory and everything else like that. You just have to get in and figure out how to manipulate it. If they don't have a good data management, we have enough parcels in the borough that we can put data into the parcels as data for them if we have to. It does code enforcement, so you have to be able to put, you can put form letters in, and when they go out, they can click here, high weeds, take a picture, high weeds, take a picture. It sends it back to the office, and we can be printing violation letters to send out before they even get back in the office. It's not, have to take a picture, download it,
Attach it to an email.
and write a letter,
Right.
look up all the information, mail it out to them. It's all, you're at the parcel, you click on the parcel, it's a code violation, you take a picture, it sticks it in there, you tell it the violation. You already have the letter done, boom.
Can it be configured to take the place of code red?
It,
It says communicate road closures and snow emergencies in real time.
it may be possible that we haven't explored enough, and code red is 2,500 a year. So it's possible. That was the snow tracking stuff, and we really didn't discuss that portion of it in great detail, because it's probably a module that we would not have brought in, but
Well, it says the data is there, you decide how to make it work with that.
right, but as an individual portal, what they do is like the citizen reporter is a portal, which is where where you get up to the 18,000 is 7,500 is the basic asset part. To add the permits in, it's 3,500 for that portal. To add the citizen reporter, it's 3,500 for that portal. So this is something that we may just get the one part in and then pick up the other parts 4 months down the line, just as we get the stuff entered and in. We don't know yet because we have not discussed it that in depth with them.
And all upgrades are part of the monthly,
Yes,
no additional cost as far as.
no additional cost because you're going to a website that's set up for you, and they're doing a full stream update when they update how they do their stuff.
See, I dread the future where we're gonna be issuing a lot of permits for changing fossil fuels in homes to other things. And I just see, the next 5 years or so, an explosion of money and work being done. And I wonder how that's all managed.
I mean, solar panels.
Yeah, solar panels, I think there's gonna be money flying left and right, and there's gonna be heat pumps being put in, and solar panels, and all this other stuff. And,
Geothermal.
I just envision that the permit part is gonna become a bigger daily event. And if this is an easier way to manage that, without having a permit person, that's probably what we're in.
This would probably cause me less time spent messing around with the permits than.
I think we could also make more than one person be able to do a permit. So if someone's not here, someone else could do it, because
They
it's all in
can,
the system.
yeah.
It's just a matter of cross-training people.
And it's more along the lines of how strict you're gonna be. Me personally, I think, no offense, contractors should have to be able to submit their permits online. They can pay online, and that would avoid having permits come in where they can't even put their name in correctly. And that's the only thing they put in. I'm sorry, but it happens all the time. See, to me, I charge them a $25 processing fee if they want to show up with a permit in hand and don't have it completed with information. Then
And chances are the construction company would rather have the office submit that permit application where someone's at a computer as compared to the guy with the hammer in his hand.
and for residents, no, we wouldn't charge, but for any
Commercial.
I would say, yeah, if we're gonna have to sit and do it, then yeah, we should charge. That's one of the things that helps you recoup some of your office costs for things like that, but otherwise you don't have to file anything further. Then the permit gets in there, it gets sent to the person who approves it, the plans get sent, they look at them, they stamp them, they do their inspections, and then it's pass or fail, and it's right there and sent back to the person. If you failed, here's where you failed. If you pass, then you get your certificate. So it streamlines everything. It's getting to that point is a challenge, but it should be doable.
And then they can check on their status of their permit applications.
Yes.
See, that's the stuff that eats up your time during the day. Well, conjure up some ideas if you guys have some questions about it, and maybe put it on the agenda for action next month. Does that sound okay? Anything else on public work, safety, sewer, streets, stormwater? Finance, anything? Nothing, manager? Emergency, what?
Nope. I updated our SAM.gov account, which was supposed to be really complicated to do and start 6 months early, and it took 3 days to get approved, and so now our renewal date is 4.5 months earlier.
So emergency management, anything, Dave?
Nothing there.
Anything new from the library?
No.
Municipal lands, we'll talk something about that in executive session.
Yeah, there are, the storms we've had recently, there are a number of trees that come down blocking trails and stuff. I could probably talk to our trail maintenance.
We'll have a real good discussion in executive session about an easement. And then recreation, so is there gonna be a Easter egg hunt?
Yeah. Newsletter will be going out, end of the month, or that latest, the very beginning of next month.
I'll do another walk.
That's a good question. Yes.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do that?
The third Saturday.
Saturday the 3rd?
The 3rd of April, third
Third
Saturday.
Saturday, is that the 12th, 19th?
The 19th, something like that. What's the last one?
Five Saturday.
Third Saturday would be the 15th, that's the, that's, 16th, that's Good Saturday, I mean, that's before Easter, this is the 16th. So you wanna do the final? The 30th?
Yeah, I can't do it for 30th, but I can do the one right.
23rd?
23rd.
23rd?
Yeah.
Easter Eve.
Yeah.
Is that Easter Eve?
No, that's the
No,
week
that's a
after.
week later.
That's Orthodox Easter, is the 24th.
April 15th is the end.
Yeah, right. So
Earth Day.
23rd is the best.
April 22nd, Earth Day.
You're gonna have to hang little globes up in the trees.
And do you have any more to discuss from the planning commission? Because all you were doing was that.
It was just that.
Wireless.
That was the only official discussion that we had. We had other.
Those were all real good points to start bringing out anyway, to try to get that right, so.
Yeah.
Zoning hearing, we didn't have anything zoning hearing, did we? No. Old business, motion to table till submitted to planning commission zoning, yes, we discussed progress on that. Discussion potential motion, Berks Nature Conservation Easement Agreement. I'm gonna ask to hold that because something in executive session may affect that. So if we can come back to it, or we can push it to next month, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I had drafted a letter, to Berks Nature, and Bob, you may have some revisions for him, and additional revisions.
But one of the things we talk about later today might affect that, so that's why I wanted to put a hold on that, so. And then the 450, we did do that, motion to approve that ordinance. So new business, resolution 860 to reappoint Warren Luna to a 5-year term ending 4/01/2027.
I didn't email to ask you, but I figured you.
Yeah, I saw that on the agenda. I went, oh, okay.
Yeah, since you were disappointed.
To what?
You put in the chairman after your ass.
Is this planning or planning?
Yeah, planning. Yeah, you should put planning in.
Do we have to get life insurance or anything for that?
Whoa, whoa.
There's an assumption.
So that was nasty.
Yes, for planning.
He won't.
So is there a motion to approve resolution 860 to reappoint Warren Lubenow as a 5-year term member of the planning commission, which would end on 04/01/2027?
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Motion passes. Motion to approve resolution 861. This is appointing Jennifer Ehrlich and Lynn Linebaugh as assistant code enforcement and zoning officers What's driving this is we also have some part-time employees when our roadmaster's not here. He's the only one officially appointed right now as code enforcement.
Other
So,
than me.
yeah, well,
And
you never
Susan.
leave, you guys never leave. So this way, if they're out, they can see something, they can take a picture, and we would then have the legal means that they were a zoning officer, which gives them some sort of rights to go on property and stuff like that. So that's the intent behind there. So is there a motion to approve resolution 861, appointing Jennifer Ehrlich and Lynn Lineback as assistant code enforcement and zoning officers?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. So one reason you're starting to see photo IDs is because I didn't want anybody knocking on anybody's door saying they're an employee of the borough without a photo ID. It'd be an issue. So it just made sense to issue council and mayor. You want one?
He's getting one.
Oh, really? You can show it when you when you do marriages, you can show it, and say prove, after the marriage. So.
Where's your fancy?
So those employees will have that title on the back of their thing, so that makes that sort of official. Motion to support grant application by Central Berks Regional Police to the county and state for financial assistance for general police operations. Chief came in, he has a goal for something that's gonna needs letters of support, doesn't want to really us to discuss it in minute detail, but it would be for him to better make smoother operations in there. So it's asking for a grant for, and I think he's gonna list several things, but I think he wants that to come through the commission, not us blaring it out tonight. So I don't know if that's okay with everybody, I sort of trust the chief, who else can you trust? So, so is there?
I'll make a motion, we support the grant application by Central Berks Regional Police.
Second. Motion been moved and seconded to support the grant applications by Central Berks Regional Police. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. And we did in fact discuss the Tracer program. So we'll cross that off. So I would like to move that we go into executive session. We need to talk about real estate and also easements on borough property. And I don't think we need time anymore. Oh, yes,
Yes, we
stay
do.
in here. So,
Yes, we do.
is there a motion?
Make a motion to enter executive session to discuss real estate issues.
I'll second. Motion been moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
You gotta check with Derek.
Derek, tell me when we were offline. Thank you, sir. So, let's talk about the easement here first. So here's some handouts. Everybody want to, so years ago, there's a parcel, yeah, there's a parcel. In a general session, Derek, is there a motion to authorize Ty to do some surveying up on borough land? And according to an easement that we have and some issues with the granted easement to adjoining property owners.
So
You want to limit that to $10,000 or whatever, $7,500, you thought? Not to exceed is what I was,
not to exceed 10,000.
$10,000,
Yeah, we're fine with that.
yeah. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been moved, seconded to authorize Ty to do some surveying. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Thanks for your time.
No, I think I'll follow tomorrow.